Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Fox Sports.
Tonight, the 2012 campaign comes to a close for the Rays. And while they did not reach their goal of a postseason berth, there were many memorable moments. 20 wins and a possible Cy Young Award for left-hander David Price. A late-season power surge for BJ Upton. And Fernando Rodney's historic run, posting the best season for a reliever in Major League history. Tonight, we'll relive all these great moments as we close out the season on Sun Sports. Tonight at Tropicana Field, the Rays will pull the curtain on the 2012 season. They'll do it by hosting the Baltimore Orioles. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball on for what the Rays will have the final night of baseball during the 2012 season. With Brian Anderson, I'm Dwayne Statz. Good to have you looking in again tonight. We'll be hearing from Todd Callis in just a moment. Well, the Baltimore Orioles will either finish tonight a wild card team, or they'll be tied with the Yankees for first in the American League East. The Rays are going after their 90th win. VA, they're trying to win 90 for the third consecutive year, and that really has been predicated on pitching.
When you look at what this pitching staff has been able to accomplish this season, from the top of the starting rotation to the back end of the bullpen, it is borderline criminal that they're not going to have an opportunity to play baseball past today.
Well, we saw one of the great pitching performances last night, perhaps one of the better and maybe the best pitching performance for a pitcher losing in a game, as James Shields went the distance in that 1-0 ball game and struck out 15. And really, with last night's game and tonight, the Rays start looking ahead toward next year. With that in mind, we'll be hearing from Andrew Friedman tonight. We'll have an opportunity to chat with James Shields during the fourth inning of this ball game. And coming up next, BJ Upton most likely will be playing his last game in a Rays uniform. Todd Callis will get together with BJ. PK on BJ when we return in a moment.
speculation as to where he may end up at the end of this season. Free agent year as the Rays wrap up game number 162 on the season. You know, in 2004, in August, BJ Upton came up as a 19-year-old infielder playing shortstop. Then he switched to second base and eventually would find a home in center field. If he's not with the Rays fans are certainly going to miss seeing him patrol the outfield and the way he can run balls down all from left center to right center in addition to his offense. We caught up with BJ before the game and asked him if 2004, that rookie year, seems like a long time ago or just happened.
Seems kind of like a long time ago, but it seems like it just happened yesterday, man. Like you said, I grew up here, man, and you know, these people around here are like family to me, and you know, they've been a big part of my my maturation process and a big part of me growing up.
What are some of the highlights you'll take away if this is your last year? What are some of the things you will remember fondly of being a Ray and over the years?
There was a point where we were Devil Rays, and you know, people really didn't know who we were. You know, I remember kind of, you know, saying that I played professional baseball, and people saying, "Is that a minor league team?" And just to see, you know, for us to go from the Devil Rays to the Rays, man, and have the run that we've had the last 3 or 4 years, and you know, to turn winning into a tradition around here, and Joe's done a great job with that, and management's done a great job of you know, keeping guys here and letting us grow together, and you know, just kind of going out and letting us play.
A lot of guys can go a whole career without playing in a World Series. That 08 World Series was a team went from worst to first. That had to be pretty special.
Yeah, that yeah, that was a very special year, man. Like you said, last in the division the year before, and to come back the next year, and you know, coming off a pretty good second half in 07, you know, and to go into 08 and win the division and win the American League and get a chance to play in the World Series, you know, like you said, it's pretty special. It's been a fun run, and it's going to take, I don't know really what to say, man. I mean, this is it's a little tough for me, but you know, hopefully I can get through it, man, and tonight can be a good night.
We'll see how it wraps up. Chris Westmoreland, clubhouse manager, and BJ Upton embracing before the game. BJ will lead off the bottom half of the first inning. In about 1 minute and 50 seconds, the Orioles will lead off the top half of the first, going for an AL East title. Rays looking for 90 wins. A lot at stake still tonight. Enjoy all the action next on Substance.
Baltimore starting the night, one full game back of New York. Yankees home against Boston. And the Rays will send Jeremy Hellickson to the hill against this Baltimore lineup. Nate McLouth leads off. J.J. Hardy hits second, and then Chris Davis. Adam Jones in center with Matt Wieters behind the plate. Jim Thome is the DH. Mark Reynolds at first. Ryan Flaherty is the number 8 hitter at second, and Manny Machado is at third base hitting ninth. There's Hellickson. He is 9-11, set to make his 31st start. The Rays 89-72 after their 90th win of the year. And Hellickson trying to move into double figures in the win department. Here's McLouth, and the first pitch of this game swung on and stroked into left. That's going to hang up, and Sam Fuld aggressively coming in from left field makes the catch. One pitch, one out. The first pitch presented by Pinch a Penny.
Sam Fuld charging in, goes into the slide, able to glove that liner from McLouth. One pitch, one out.
J.J. Hardy. Hardy, the Baltimore shortstop. And the pitch is a strike. Well, the Orioles, depending on what happens tonight here and what happens in New York, have a chance to go to Baltimore, or they could go to Texas.
How about that?
Yeah,
how about that?
Oakland A's. How about that? Oakland defeating Texas today.
And you remember coming into this series saying, well, if the Rays sweep and Texas can sweep Oakland, and Oakland took it to them.
One hop to short. Zobrist up with it. His throw to first. Hardy is out of there. Oakland defeating Texas 12-5 after trailing 5-1 in that game. They scored 6 in the fourth to grab the lead and then never looked back. So the Oakland A's are the champs in the American League West. The Tigers in the Central. And right now the Yankees lead the Orioles by 1 in the East. Baltimore with a chance to finish at a tie, in which case they would go home to play the Yankees in Baltimore. One strike to count to Chris Davis. Davis now with 33 home runs, and he has been on a home run binge. He made the difference in last night's 1-0 game with a home run in the fourth inning. He's homered in 6 consecutive games for a total of 7. Carlos Pena had a stretch like that in 2010. Upton with a move back, looking for that ball, and it hits off the B ring. And out there to make the catch was Zobrist. That ball's still in play. And so Davis is out on what turns out to be a high pop handled by Zobrist, the shortstop. More on that in a minute. No score. Night on a ball that they said hit the C ring for a home run and right in the top of the first inning. Tonight hits the B ring. See Upton looking for it. He was headed back to try to make a catch, and then Ben Zobrist stayed with it and made the grab with his back to the infield. That's a great play by Zobrist.
Never give up on the play. I mean, that ball's clearly not to Ben Zobrist, but following that baseball, he drifted out into the outfield and then was able to play the carom off the ring and secure the third out.
Well, let's take a quick look at the Rays lineup. BJ leads it off. Upton in center, followed by Zobrist and Longoria, Joyce, Roberts, and Pena down the middle. Bold, Voit, and then Jimenez against Chris Tillman. Here's the first pitch to Upton, and it's a bit outside. 1 ball, no strikes. So BJ Upton facing the hard-throwing right-hander Tillman. And a fly ball lifted into left. McLeod is there, and he makes the catch. 1 away.
Let's take a quick look at the Oriole defense as it lines up behind Tillman in the outfield left to right. Nate McLeod, Adam Jones, and Chris Davis. Across the infield, third to first, Manny Machado, J.J. Hardy, Ryan Flaherty, and Mark Reynolds. Matt Wieters will be behind the plate. Tonight's Baltimore defense brought to you by Sweet Bay Supermarket. With meat so good, maybe it should be called Meat Bay.
Now here's Ben Zobrist starting the night, hitting .272. Pitches up, and over the final 100 games or so, Zobrist the most consistent of the Rays performers.
Well, look at that. Those season numbers right there. .272, 20 home runs, mid-70s in RBIs, and hard to imagine that this guy in the beginning of June was under 200 in the average department. Just incredible.
1 and 2 right now with 97 walks to go with all the other offensive numbers he's put together.
Now he's got strike zone discipline.
He takes a pitch off the plate end right there. 2-2.
And the thing that's been impressive is he's been able to maintain his swing and be productive from both sides of the plate. Really no drop off, whether he's hitting right-handed or left-handed. A little bit more power left-handed.
A close take there for ball 3. Full count. His 3 hits off Tillman lifetime. 3 out of 16, and 2 of those have been home runs. Chops it to Flaherty at second. Across to Reynolds. 2 up and 2 down.
Well, and Chris Tillman, you know, you saw his numbers and it flashed him on the screen. He's making his 15th start of the season. He's 9-2 with a 2.78 earned run average, and you wonder if this is the season that Chris Tillman has turned the corner. As you go back 2009, 10, 11, anywhere from 11 to 13 starts, but an ERA in the mid to upper 5s, and then all of a sudden, like gangbusters, he has really turned it around. And in limited action, been very good.
There's a shot to left off the bat of Longoria, and that baby's gone. Home run number 15. Evan Longoria turns it around, and the Rays have a 1-0 lead. 10th home run given up by Tillman. So Evan ready for that first pitch. Hits it out.
Well, he got a ball right up and out over the plate. You watch this. That's just flat and at the belt. Much of this ball ends right down the middle. That's what you're supposed to do.
Well, Evan was 4 for 10 with 3 walks and a home run off Tillman, so he was up there ready to swing and gives the Rays a 1-0 lead. Pitch into Joyce is high. 1 ball, no strikes. And now a high shot down the right field line by Joyce. Foul, and that's going to be out of play over Davis, but he could not get there, and that ball out of his reach beyond that low wall.
Well, Matt Joyce was just a little bit too quick on that swing right there. Got the ball off the end of the bat. If he waits back fractions of a second, that ball's gone. That was another pitch middle with elevation.
Two balls and a strike. Now, Tillman came over in the Adam Jones deal, and they were very high on him from the beginning in that trade. Struggled trying to settle in the big leagues, but you're right, this recent stretch by him, 14 starts, 9-2 with a 278. His command has been better, and the consistency of his velocity has been better. 2-2 the count now to Joyce. And strike three call. A little breaking pitch, and Joyce is caught looking to retire the side. A run on the home run by Longoria, and the Rays have the first run of the night. We go to the second, 1-0 Tampa Bay.
Giving the Rays a 1-0 lead as we head into the top of the second inning. Let's take a quick look at the Rays defense. In the outfield left to right, Sam Fuld, BJ Upton, and Matt Joyce. Across the infield third to first, Evan Longoria, Ben Zobrist, Ryan Roberts, and Carlos Pena. Chris Jimenez will be behind the plate. Tonight's Rays defense brought to you by Sweet Bay Supermarket, with meat so good, maybe, Dwayne, just maybe, it should be called Meat Bay.
It is good. We've tried it and found out.
We have.
There's a broken bat and a little popper out to shortstop. Zobrist takes care of Adam Jones. 1 pitch, 1 out. And with that, let's check in with Todd Callis. Todd?
Thank you, Dwayne. One of the candidates for American League Cy Young is Jared Weaver, going for his 21st win of the season today against Seattle, but it did not go well for Weaver in the first inning. Allowed a couple of hits and a couple of walks and 2 runs. And then after 1 inning, Mike Scioscia pulls Weaver from the game. So Jared Weaver will not win number 21. David Price will tie for the American League lead in victories. And right now, the Mariners lead that game 2-0 in the third, guys.
Well, David Price with some very impressive numbers. A great season for David, and you continue to have to believe that he's got that inside track for the Cy Young Award. There's a strike to Matt Wieters. 20-5 with the best ERA at 2.56. Over 200 strikeouts.
Yeah, the more that you think about it, you start breaking out the numbers, taking stock of the challengers. I don't think there's any question that David Price is your Cy Young Award winner. And the consistency of his outings. You know, we talked about that.
Yeah, even the no decisions.
Yep.
Pitched even better in his no decisions than he did in all the games that he had decisions in.
Well, sometimes you have to do that. You go in when the offense is struggling, you say, listen, if I throw a shutout tonight, I got a great chance for a no decision. And that's just about what he did.
Yeah. An earned run average a little over 1.6 in his no decisions. It's hard to figure that he could not win the Cy Young Award at this point. One and two the count to Wieters. Jeremy Hellickson on the hill tonight for the Rays. Wieters takes it foul the other way out of play. The Rays are going to drop the season series to the Orioles. Best they can finish is 8-10 against them. Well, Buck Showalter's club with 93 wins. And he's had a knack for doing that, taking over a club, and in his second full year getting the results he went in there looking for. And that's happened here in Baltimore as he completes his second full season as manager of the Orioles. They're going to have a 24-25 game improvement over last year, depending on the outcome of this game.
Well, the one thing that I'll say with Buck Showalter as manager is a player's never going to wonder, A, where he stands, or B, what's expected of him. Never. You're never going to wonder. It is right out there.
Yeah, and we both have experience with Buck. You played for him, so you know intimately what it's like to be, in your case, a pitcher under him and the way he handles a club. The swing and a miss. Wieters out in front of the changeup. And I had the...
Well, stay tuned later in the game for a sneak peek at Liam Neeson's new action film, Taken 2. Tell you what, if that even comes close to Taken, the original, that was outstanding.
That was great.
It was. Talk about somebody who doesn't mess around.
Yep.
That's right.
Jim Thome. Strike one. Yeah, he was all business.
Yeah.
I mean, a man truly on a mission.
Don't cross the family.
One strike count to Thome. 1-1 to count. Showalter got those same kind of results in Arizona. He got them in Texas. He got them in New York. Thome out in front. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, it doesn't matter what pitcher that the Rays run out there with Jim Thome. He's going to see a lot of changeups. That's what he got right there.
About that 22nd season for Jim Thome. And strike 3 called. He takes that soft pitch in there for a strike. 1, 2, 3. Go the Orioles. 1-0 Rays. Tonight's Rays game presented in high definition. Brought to you by H.H. Gregg. Evan Longoria connected off Chris Tillman in the first inning to give the Rays their lead. How about this for Evan Longoria? Of course, we know last year, game 162, and the importance of his home run. He's had 3 home runs in the last 2 games of 162. The only other year he played in game 162 was 2008 with no home runs. But here's Ryan Roberts taking a ball. In 09, the last game he played in was game 157, and he homered in that game. So that means he has 4 home runs in the last 5 final games of the regular season in which he's played. Two and one. The real trick is to make that final game count and unleash the home run that is apparently in Evan Longoria on the final day of the regular season.
Well, he certainly did that last year.
Yes, he did.
Well, and you never know. This home run is certainly not going to propel the Rays to any kind of postseason action, but it could help decide the American League East win.
Yep. Boston's out in front of New York with a run in the first. And there's a cut and a miss. Roberts out on strikes. That's Isaka Kuroda, the pitching matchup, and Ross with an RBI single, scoring Jacoby Ellsbury.
Did you see the interview with Hiroki Kuroda about tonight's start? It was pretty interesting. You talk about being businesslike going into a start. They asked him about his excitement in making this start tonight, and he basically was like, no, there is no excitement as a starting pitcher. It is a tremendous amount of responsibility to be a starter, and that he was going to take it very, very seriously. No fun.
I like it.
I don't.
There's a strike to Carlos Pena. I mean, hey, big game. Let's go.
That's right.
Focus.
Yeah. You can focus and have fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, listen, when you and I thumb wrestle up here, it's fun, but I'm locked in because I got the hook.
Yeah, well, you're all serious about that. Never seen you quite so serious about anything more than thumb wrestling.
That's 2 out of 3. That's the way it goes.
It's priorities. 1 out, base is empty. Pena takes it for a ball.
Well, tonight's game is available in Espanol via SAP, brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida.
Chris Tillman, 24-year-old right-hander. 2-2. And now the count is full.
The Tampa Bay Times is adding hundreds of new subscribers each week. Join them with a subscription to the Tampa Bay's favorite newspaper. Call 877 The Times or visit tampabay.com/Rays offer. Come with us around the corner, around the globe.
Three-two. Cut and miss. Pena missed the fastball at 95, and Pena down on strikes.
Yeah, that's the velocity, Dwayne, that you're talking about with Tillman. That was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Watch how late the swing is. Just does not pick it up in time. That ball is almost in the glove.
And this shot will give you a really good idea.
I mean, I'll tell you what, that is really powering it by a guy.
First pitch into fold is a strike. When the Rays saw him earlier over the last couple of years, Tillman would give you that, and then he would give you maybe 88 or 89. Drops a breaking ball in, and the count is 0-2. And in his recent stretch that has taken him to 9-2, He's been much more consistent with the high octane velocity when he wants it. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, that's, you know, when we meet up with the analyst for the Baltimore Orioles, Jim Palmer, and he talks to us.
Yep.
That's exactly what he said. The difference is that high octane heater. Because, you know, you look at Chris Tillman too, and he's a guy that if you just watch him go out there and you stand on the mound and you see his mechanics, very simple, you would think, wow, nice tall lanky pitcher's body, he's going to drive the ball downhill. I'll bet you he gets a ton of ground balls. Not so.
No.
I mean, he's got a ground ball rate less than Jeremy Hellickson, who you consider an obvious fly ball pitcher.
Yeah, well, Hellickson at least a little over 50%.
Yeah.
Tillman's close to 40%.
Yeah.
Just a little over 40.
Yeah. And you wouldn't think that with his tall, lanky build, tall.
Fly ball back to right field. Davis just back to the track, hauls it in. 1, 2, 3 go the Rays. We're at the end of 2, and it's 1-0 Tampa Bay. We go to the third. It's a 1-0 ball game. The Rays out in front.
And the Rays want to thank all of our fans for your support throughout the year. The Rays are proud to have had another winning season, both on and off the field, because of you. We look forward to seeing you at Tropicana Field in April for another exciting season of Rays baseball. And guess what, Dwayne?
What?
Guess what?
What?
Guess who the Rays open up with next year? This team that they're across the dugout from right now.
It's amazing. There's certain symmetry to that, don't you think?
And guess who comes in on the second road trip of the season?
Who?
Oakland.
All right.
A little
Symmetry
payback action.
Well, yeah.
I can smell it coming already.
Yep. I got you. We're going to be hearing from Andrew Friedman. There's Todd Callis making his way after fueling up for the interview.
Yep.
And he's on his way to chat with Andrew Friedman to see what's in store when the Rays meet the Orioles to start the season next year.
Yes,
Looking forward to that.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see. Some decisions obviously have to be made this offseason.
1 strike the count to Mark Reynolds. One and one Reynolds, then Flaherty and Machado. Hellickson has retired the first 6 to face him. A couple of strikeouts of Wieters and Tomey back-to-back in the second inning. And a popper left side from Reynolds. Longoria making the call in foul territory. So that's out number 1 here in the third. It's going to be interesting to see what Andrew Friedman when Todd chats with him in the bottom of the inning about this club going forward. The pitching is so good. It's such a great pitching staff. Has to be one of the best pitching staffs of all time. Andrew Friedman loosening up, getting ready for the interview from Todd Callis. Want to know both Andrew and Todd apparently will be well nourished for this interview.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe that's how you loosen up. Just chew on things.
Pitch is a strike, and the count is 1-1. Pitch is low. 2 balls and a strike. Runs the count down to 3-1. Hellickson, 2 games under 500, but with an earned run average of 3.20. Five and 3 lifetime against the Orioles. Shot down the right field line. That ball is a foul ball. Flaherty got around on that one and hit it hard, but foul, and the count will go full.
Well, this is just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Well, that's one of the more refreshing looks and sounds we've had all year.
Bottle can.
Yeah, that was great.
Tub of ice water.
Refreshing.
Chris.
Full count to Flaherty.
Could you grab me one? Make sure it's in a mug. Thank you.
Ground ball to second. Roberts with the toss to first. 2 up and 2 down here in the third. So the base is empty and 2 outs. Manny Machado will be the hitter for Baltimore. Machado hitting down in the nice spot, a little over 260. You talk about a guy coming up and making a difference at a tender age. He really settled that third base situation down on that infield for the Orioles. That has been a big part of their success story.
That's why it was so uncharacteristic, the error that he made the other night that really hurt the Baltimore Orioles. Because you're right, he comes up at 20 years old, and this was a team that was neck and neck with the Rays all season long as far as worst defensive numbers statistically. And they really turned that around in September, especially. One of the best in baseball.
Pitch is a strike. The count is 1-1. Rays with a run in the first on the Longoria home run. We're now in the third. 2 outs, base is empty. Cut. Machado missed the breaking ball. 1-2.
You know, these Rays pitchers, the last 3 nights, you see Jeremy tonight so far, granted it's early. Alex Cobb, James Shields have been sharp coming out of that bullpen with all of their pitches. Keeping that ball in the strike zone for a long time on the breaking balls and the change-ups, and then out it goes.
Ground ball to third, right there to scoop at Longoria. Nice pick up and throw right on the money. 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Rays lead 1-0. We'll be hearing from Andrew Friedman when we return.
half of the third inning, joined by the Executive Vice President of Baseball Operations, Andrew Friedman. Andrew, first of all, before we get into the serious discussions, how easy is this question going to be? How much do you want to see Stephen Vogt get a hit tonight?
Oh, incredibly badly. It's kind of ironic because, his calling card, what got him to the big leagues is his bat. And so for him to be in this position is really an anomaly. He's going to have a lot of hits in his major league career, but I'm looking forward to him getting the first one out of the way.
Vogt will lead off the bottom half of the third inning. Andrew, this season obviously did not finish the way you wanted. Frustration because this team, probably as much as any of your playoff teams, could have done some damage?
Yeah, it's really a strange season, and, we'll get into it a lot more tomorrow. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to get into it in enough detail, but it was almost a bunch of different seasons all wrapped in one. A lot of really talented players, really talented core. Things played out in really strange ways that we need to, focus on a lot, and we're extremely motivated and frustrated and now motivated to, have a really productive offseason and put ourselves in a position to have a lot of success next year.
1-2 the count to Vogt. A lot of people look to the Evan Longoria injury. Was as much not just the time he missed, but the uncertainty of how much time he was going to miss that didn't allow you to really maybe do what you might have wanted to do around the trade?
Yeah, it's also just getting our roster together and playing together. Yeah, Evan missing 85 games and just not knowing. We talked about it. At first it was going to be 6 weeks, and then obviously he had the setback when we were in Washington in June, and it was just going to be a shorter setback, and then that extended a little bit longer. And so, it definitely played a role. Jennings missing the time he did, BJ, Joyce, Keppinger with the foot thing. It was just one of those really strange years that we felt really confident coming into the year that we were going to be a really good offensive team. And what's funny is that you said, hey, you're going to score 700 runs, right, and all these things are going to happen. It would have made a lot of sense to me.
Of course, Vogt hits the ball hard, but not hard enough. A play made in right field by Chris Davis. Kind of the way he's going.
Exactly, absolutely. I think the second hardest hit ball off Kimbrel this year was by Stephen Vogt. So he hadn't had a lot of good luck.
Andrew, you look at next season, obviously Evan Longoria is going to be at third base. Other than that, it seems like there's a lot of options at every other position. One of them who could join him on the left side of the infield could be Ben Zobrist. What are your thoughts with Zobrist at shortstop, the way he's played this year and the next season?
I tell you what Zobrist has done is incredible. It's something that we talked about when we acquired Ryan Roberts, and one challenge of acquiring Ryan Roberts is we were most likely going to have to send down Sean Rodriguez or make some move to where Elliott Johnson would be the only shortstop on our roster. We need to start getting Zoe acclimated at short. Maybe we can do it when there's fly ball pitchers. And to Zoe's credit, he's been absolutely incredible, and it absolutely presents another scenario for us to talk through. Unfortunately, fortunately, we haven't spent a lot of time talking about next year. We were really focused on this year and advancing for the playoffs, et cetera. And so we're going to catch our breath, and we have a bunch of meetings planned for next week to really start the heavy lifting.
Chris Jimenez continues to hit for the Rays. Base hit the opposite way, a one-out base runner for Tampa Bay. He's kind of worked himself into some interesting discussions for next year.
Yeah, he's really done well. I think offensively was an area that, he's been really challenged throughout his career. He went down to Durham, made some adjustments, performed extremely well against left-handed pitching. Got a lot of strengths to his game and who he is, and so he's absolutely opened our eyes some as well.
As BJ Upton bats, have to ask you this. Obviously, this has the potential to be the last game for the Rays with BJ Upton in that uniform. Your thoughts on what he has meant to this team?
Well, BJ goes back to the Devil Ray days. He was, a very central figure in the transformation into what we are today, and a big part of the success that we've enjoyed. He's a really good player, a really talented player that's helped us win a lot of games, and I think there's going to take some time to play out, and we're going to try to do everything we can to put the best team on the field. He's going to do everything he can to land somewhere that makes the most sense for him, but it's one of those things that in my mind it's not a foregone conclusion that he's going to be somewhere else, but he's obviously a really talented player and someone that's meant a whole lot to this organization.
1-1 count to Upton, and he sends the ball into shallow right field. Davis comes in, and he will make the play, jumping again. This time a little easier play for the second out. Andrew, do you think you'll ever see a season where a pitching staff performs like this year's staff?
You can certainly never expect it coming into a year. I mean, I think the easy answer is to say no. No, you won't. But our goal is going to be to replicate it. As far as, runs allowed, it's funny because the interplay between runs scored and runs allowed, I would take scoring 400 runs as an offensive team if it meant we were.
No, you wouldn't.
If it meant we were going to allow 100. So I mean, the point is that everything's interrelated. We have really good defensive players. We've got really talented pitchers. So it's not that surprising, I guess, when you look at each one of the guys. But for all of them to kind of hit at what they have, at the level of performance, it's not like anyone's outperforming what they're capable of, but for everyone to hit at their capability or exceed all in 1 year, all within one pitching staff, is really rare.
In case we don't have time, I know James Shields will be with BA and Dwayne in the next inning, and what a final 12 starts for him, but you're looking forward to hearing that interview, right?
Absolutely. Everyone talks about the performance like last night, and rightfully so, but I think the one thing that was overlooked is he came in today pretty sore. Most people would think it would be because he threw a 9-inning complete game, but I think it had more to do with the Chris Davis home run. I think he experienced a little bit of whiplash, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see when we see him and see what he has to say.
That's what this team's all about, having fun, right?
Absolutely.
There is Shields, and we will hear from him next inning. Andrew, as we let you go here, it was Zobrist with the 3-1 count. A lot has gone right for this team in the last 5 years. The pitching staff is what you're built around. Do you see the possibility that this entire nucleus in the pitching staff could be back for next year?
Well, I mean, it's similar to what we talked about last offseason, at the beginning of the offseason. We're not going to be flippant about the depth that we have in our pitching. We ended up relying on every one of those guys, and so many different things happen that you can't possibly foresee when you're doing things on paper, when you're doing things in the offseason and going through scenarios. And so the one area that I'm going to do everything in my power not to be exposed is on the pitching side. We have zero chance to succeed without pitching. We've seen a lot of teams that perform well offensively and can't pitch, and those teams lose games. We have a chance to win 90 games and not having performed nearly as well.
Zobrist into left center field, and a great catch by Adam Jones to end the inning. Andrew, thank you for the time.
Absolutely, thank you.
When we come back, it'll be James Shields' turn at the microphone. It is 1-0 Rays as Jones robs Zobrist to end the bottom half of the third inning.
With the Rays on top 1-0. The difference, the home run by Evan Longoria in the first inning. Jeremy Hellickson against Chris Tillman, the pitching matchup. And we're Pleased to have James Shields. Hey, there you are. We were going to ask you about that.
What's up, guys?
About that neck brace.
Yeah, I slept on it wrong last night. I was dreaming about Chris Davis's home run, and it kind of got my neck hurting a little bit, so I came in a little sore this morning.
Well, we appreciate your sense of humor there.
I think that was probably the funnest home run I've ever given up in my life, so I figured, I'd come on the show and joke around a little bit.
Well, in all honesty, though, it was a long home run, but I'll tell you, I'm not sure you could pitch a better game than you pitched, and I found out today when I came to the ballpark, Bill James has a way of measuring the performance of every pitcher. As we all know, the game's filled with that now. Cloud leads it off. According to Bill James, your performance last night was the best performance of all time in a losing effort by a pitcher, to go 9 innings. How about that?
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily want to be under that category, but last night was unbelievable. I mean, it was probably the best game of my career.
I was going to say, could you have ever had better stuff than you had last night?
Probably not. I mean, it's obviously besides the one pitch, I mean, I probably could have got a shutout or something like that, but I mean, it's just kind of one of those games where I was in the zone the whole entire game, and I got stronger as the game went on.
In that game last night, when you punch out 15 guys and that sets a new franchise record, do you know, number one, as the game moves on, you obviously know that you're piling up the strikeouts. Is it something that you start to shoot for, or are you still able to keep it just pitch to pitch to pitch, and then if you get to 2 strikes, now you're looking to put a guy away?
Well, I think about the seventh inning. I had 8 strikeouts, and the 7th inning, I think I struck out the side. So after that, I mean, those last 2 innings, I just kind of wanted to pound the strike zone and get to 2 strikes and go with my out pitch for the most part. So, last night was a lot of fun.
A broken bat, a little hopper to the right side by McLeod. Roberts makes the play. So that's the first out here in the 4th inning. He struck out 7 of the last 9 hitters. You're retired to get to that mark. We've had some great pitching. We've seen some unbelievable pitching here since you came up from the minor leagues, and particularly over the last 5 years. This pitching staff, is it the best staff that you've been a part of here?
I'll tell you what, it's definitely the best staff I've been a part of. I mean, watching these guys day in and day out, and what we've accomplished as a pitching staff has been amazing. I look back at all the pitching staffs in the 90s and the 80s, and to be honest with you, I look at our staff as definitely one of the top up there in those decades. So, I'm very proud of the guys, how hard we worked throughout the season, and hopefully we can continue that next year.
Yeah, I mean, as a staff, absolutely historic. Your numbers last year, historic. Your last 12 starts this year, ridiculous. But how about this, James? I mean, you look back, and I know that you've said in the past, you're 200 innings. That's what your goal is every year. You've got 6 straight seasons of double-digit victories, 6 straight seasons of 200-plus innings. What is your mindset? Tell the fans and let them in on why you think 200 innings is the goal, as opposed to, say, 20 wins.
I mean, obviously, if you go 200 innings, I mean, most of your numbers should add up to pretty good. For me, I've always been that type of guy that I want to be the workhorse. I want to be the innings eater. I definitely want to try to save our bullpen because I know how important our bullpen is late in September. And that's just what I've always wanted to do ever since I got called up to the big leagues. And, I've been very, very fortunate to stay healthy and complete all my starts throughout the years. And, here we are.
Hardy's out on strikes. It's the second out, 2 up, 2 down. That's 11 straight retired by Hellickson. Well, there's a lot of talk actually the last couple of years around the trading deadline again this year. We just heard Andrew Friedman talk about the importance of pitching and how reluctant he is to part with any of that. This year with this staff and where the club's going to finish now, whet your appetite to be here again next year and try to, as it turns out, take care of some unfinished business?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We definitely felt like we fell a little short this year. Obviously we're gonna look back at some games and wonder why. But I think the main part is we need to stay healthy next year. I think we had 15 guys get injured this year for a substantial amount of time, and I think it's just kind of one of those things where we got to stay healthy. As long as you stay healthy, and we got the lineup, we definitely got the pitching, and I think if we stay healthy, we're going to be good.
Yeah, I know the season's going to end a little early for everybody, earlier than they would have liked, but still, you had another great year. We congratulate you on that, and the entire pitching staff's been really fun for us to watch and see some of the younger guys develop and see the old man James Shields there lead the way. Way to go.
Hey, well, I just turned 30 this offseason, so I broke the streak this year and still did pretty well. So, I definitely I don't feel too old with these young guys, man. It's been a blast. I mean, this has been a tremendous year for our pitching staff. Like I said before, I mean, this is the best pitching staff in the big leagues as far as I'm concerned, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, way to go. And by the way, not only have you helped to choreograph the pitching staff on the field, but apparently otherwise too, with all the rookies. And this ball gets away, and now Davis is going to reach on that pitch in the dirt after the strikeout. Yeah, you did a nice job with that too. We couldn't let you go without giving you accolades for that.
Yeah, man, that was something a little new this year for the rookies, man. It's we wanted to treat the veterans to a little dance show in front of the Green Monster in Fenway, and the rookies killed it. I mean, we brought in a choreographer, Annie, and she did a great job with the guys, and I'm telling you, they really bought into it. I was really proud of them, man. I think we put on a show, and I hope everyone liked it. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, it's all about coming through under pressure and in clutch situations. Way to go.
Hey, I'll tell you what, it's easy to pitch in front of 50,000 fans, but it's hard to do a dance routine in leotards.
Pitch to Jones is low.
Especially in front of your own teammates.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been trying to get BA to do that up here, and he won't go for it. So
that's all right. We'll dress him up later. Don't worry, I'll video it so we can YouTube it.
Very good. James, again, thanks for spending time with us. We appreciate that. And again, congratulations on what a great season it's been for you guys.
Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, James Shields with us here. Adam Jones up here. The count is now 2 balls and no strikes.
That was quite the show.
It was.
How about that at Fenway Park, no less?
Right there
in front of the monster.
Yep.
Wow. He was, and James, I saw him on the plane. I mean, how excited! And he was starting the next day.
Yeah.
Starting the next day, and he was so excited about the dance.
Davis at first on the strikeout, and the pitch thrown into the dirt. He reaches. 2-0 to Jones. Bouncer foul outside of third. 2-1.
Just the way that he was able to close out the season, and ironically enough, a lot of talk about is James Shields going to get traded at the deadline, and one of those topics that was constantly being bandied about on the national level, and then he gets that start on the trading deadline July 31st, and that was the day that he just went bonkers against Oakland and has not looked back.
Shot toward the gap in right center, cut off by Joyce. Davis is going to go to third. The Orioles have a little opening here, and now they put up a threat first and third with 2 outs, with Wieters coming to the plate.
This ball is down, but it stays middle of the plate, and Adam Jones just shoots it out into right field. That allows Davis to get over to third base. Orioles with a chance.
Wieters struck out his first time. Rays after their 90th win of the year, protecting this 1-0 lead. First and third. 2 outs. Pitch is down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. The Yankees scoring some runs at home against Boston. New York started the day a game up on Baltimore. 1-0 count to Wieters. And a cut and a miss. Curtis Granderson Henderson has hit a home run, and now Robinson Cano has added one for New York. That's going to make it 5-1 New York in the bottom of the third. Matsuzaka on the hill making the start. So the Yankees have hit a couple of home runs tonight and lead 5-1. A 1-1. Raiders takes a look at one away. 2 balls and a strike. It's Davis at third, Jones at first. Boy, Jones made a great running catch on that ball Zobrist hit in the bottom of the third. Inside. Count is 3-1. Jim Thome is on deck. Well, all of this with that strikeout on the ball in the dirt, allowing Davis to reach, and the Orioles have manufactured a threat out of that. Take the count full. That home run for Granderson, by the way, was his 42nd, and for Cano his 32nd. Readers came into the game 4 out of 16 lifetime against Hellickson, but with 4 walks. Worked the count full in the 4th. The ground ball right side. Hellickson's going to have to cover. He'll take the toss from Roberts. Finds the bag to retire the side. 2 left. Bottom of the 4th coming up. 1-0 Rays. To you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer for great deals today. And by Tires Plus. The plus is in everything we do. The Rays, after their 90th win, Jeremy Hellickson leaving 2 men stranded in the 4th inning. Rays have 5 consecutive winning seasons. and trying to get to 90 wins for the 3rd straight year. The Yankees and the Rangers are the only other teams to do that. And Evan Longoria is going to lead off the bottom of the 4th. Well, he homered his first time up tonight. And here's a look back at 162. Evan Longoria making the difference right down the line. 1-0 the count. Home run in the first, his 15th of the year. Two balls, no strikes. Rays facing Chris Tillman. Another difference with Tillman, when you look at the time he spent in the big leagues with the Orioles over the last 3 years or so. In 2010, he was walking over 5 men every 9 innings. Tough to be effective with that number. And then he cut that down to a little over 3.5, and this year he's closer to 2.5. So he's moving in the right direction in that department. Full count to Longoria.
Well, you know, that's true of any pitcher. You know, obviously you want to limit your walks, but you know, you're walking 5.5 guys per 9 innings, and you're a fly ball pitcher. And that's going to add up to those ERAs in the mid-5s.
3-2, another one. High and deep to left. Gone deep into the seats and left. Evan Longoria hits his 2nd home run of the night. And the Rays lead 2-0. Number 16 for Longoria. Well, he likes 162.
And he loves pitches right down the middle at the belt. That's 2 in a row, and 2 of them he's lost. This one even more impressive than last.
Now Matt Joyce. It's a little breaking ball for a strike. Well, Evan 2 for 2. 2 long ones. Joyce the other way, foul. Out of play. 2.
You know what? That's what the good sluggers do. They work counts, and when they get the mistake pitch out over the plate, they make the pitcher pay. They hit it hard.
Still 2 strikes to Joyce. Orioles have the shift on for Joyce. Machado alone on the left side of the infield. It's down and in. 1-2. Let's check in with the Todd quickly. Todd?
Well, Dwayne, speaking of game 162 in the Chicago White Sox game in Cleveland, of course, Dan Johnson hits his first major league home run this season, a 2-run shot early in the game to give the White Sox a 2-0 lead, guys.
Well, of course he did. 1-2. There's a liner foul. How about that? And Johnson hits one out. Evan Longoria hits a couple. Nice to see some consistency in the world. Pitch is high. 2-2. And now Joyce works the count full. Cut and a miss. Joyce strikes out.
from tonight's game and all season long. Tires Plus donated $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run, televised on Sun Sports, and then with a little roundup action, they evened it out, donated $20,000.
Now Ryan Roberts. Big cut, no piece of that went foul.
Evan Longoria holding court, letting everybody know you don't come down the middle of the plate on me. Don't bring that mediocre fastball middle.
Pitch off the plate, 1-1. Yeah, Evan is now 6 of 12 against Tillman with 3 home runs and 3 walks. And a high shot to left off the bat of Ryan Roberts. All the way to the wall. McLeod now, he's looking for it. And that baby's going to be out of here. Home run for Ryan Roberts. Third home run for the Rays tonight. And for Roberts, number 6, it's 3-0. McLeod running out of room, and suddenly the ball struck what appeared to be the D ring and then fell on the warning track. Let's take a look and see if it struck something up there or not. Maybe not.
Might have just been McLeod losing it. We've seen visiting outfielders lose it a lot.
There you go. It
hit that seat.
Towering fly ball that landed in the front row and bounced right back out onto the stand, or onto the field, out of the stands.
Yeah, you know, when you look at that replay, it almost looked like, ooh, maybe off the top of the fence, and that ball comes back in play. But right behind the yellow line there, you could see the seat wobbly because it had hit off the seat and been ejected right there. Watch that little... Maybe that was the camera shaking, or I need to stop drinking this coffee. That seat was moving, man.
So a couple of home runs in this inning. Well, a near souvenir and an up close and personal view for those fans in the front row. He might have actually hit in the front row. McLeod toward the foul line to take care of the fly ball by Full. Rays scored 2 in the 4th. Evan Longoria's hit 2 home runs tonight. It's 3-0. Evan hit one out in the first and connected to open the bottom of the 4th. 3-0 Rays. Game as we move into the 5th inning. Time now for the Just for Men Keep Your Edge Spotlight. How about this for the Rays pitching staff this season? First in ERA, hits allowed per 9 innings, lowest. strikeouts, the highest, fewest home runs allowed, the lowest opponent's average, just as the Rays pitching staff kept the Rays and gave them the edge this year. You can keep your edge with Just for Men mustache and beard. Jim Thome is going to lead off the fifth. Thome takes that pitch, and that's in there for a strike. Oh, 2. One ball, 2 strikes. So the Rays with 3 runs, 4 hits, 3 of those hits home runs. Pitch away, 2-2. Mark Reynolds next, and then Ryan Flaherty. And to cut the miss, he takes care of Thome. And him out in front. Let's take another look at the ball that Ryan Roberts hit. See if we can get a more definitive view. It appeared that it went just over the wall into the front row. And fans spreading out and covering up, and then it bounded right back over the top of the wall.
The seat moved.
There you go.
It did move. I knew it. Another coffee.
There's Mark Reynolds.
Feel a lot better right now.
Wade Stats along with Eagle Eye Anderson. Way to go. Right on top of that.
It's this tall boy over here.
Pitch wide. 2-0. Yeah, we saw those fans scattering it. It appeared that it landed in the front row, but you know, the replay for a time it was a little difficult to tell until we got one a little more definitive from a different angle.
It's all about perspective, Dwayne.
It is. Come to learn that. Now back to the game. 2-1 to count. Foul ball, and down goes Reynolds.
For all the latest updates on your Tampa Bay Rays, log on to TampaBay.com. From the diamond to the clubhouse, we bring you the in-depth news, stories, and scores 24 hours a day only at TampaBay.com, powered by the Tampa Bay Times.
Showalter is going to come out and take a look at his first baseman.
Well, those hurt so bad, and Mark Reynolds, as hard as he swings, watch this. Boy, that got him square.
Trying to walk it off, but you can still see him favoring that ankle. These are the things that concern a manager when you're on the verge of going into the postseason.
Look at Buck positioning himself. I was going to say, right between him and the batter's box, saying, you better convince me right now that you're okay. Because you're exactly right for that reason.
Yeah, he's still favoring that. He's staying in, and Showalter's going to be a little concerned until he sees a little better reaction, I think. Counts 2-2 on Reynolds. And the foul ball down the third base side. That ball winds up playable and caught by Sam Fold. How about that? Reynolds can't believe it, but somehow it didn't hit one of the rings up there, and Sam Fold stayed with it and caught it right up against the sidewall, and Reynolds walking slowly back toward the dugout.
Well, Sam Fold, much like Ben Zobrist earlier in the game, don't give up on the play. Right over to the low wall on that left field line, and then this reaction from Mark Reynolds.
Two outs. There's Flaherty. Bunts and pops it up foul. Strike one. Well, the Orioles have accomplished what they have. Down the stretch without Nick Markakis, who had gone into the leadoff spot and was just hitting up a storm. And his recovery's been delayed a little bit. Not quite sure how that thumb is going to react. He's got some pins in there, and they'd hope to have those removed the last day or two. 0-2 the count. Flaherty way out in front.
He almost hit that as it bounced. That almost bounced up to the bat.
It's like a cricket swing. Hit it on the bounce and put it into play.
Watch this curveball.
There, you see guys do that on purpose playing cricket. Strike three call. He's out of there. 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the fifth. 3-0 Tampa Bay. Three to nothing. We certainly appreciate you looking in all season, and our crew, Darren Peterson, there the video operator, and there's Mike Mullen down at first base, and there's Frankie Vila there coming across the other side of the diamond. Have an opportunity to take a look at some of our crew here. There's Jimmy Cogs, Coglianese. Jimmy High Home, Joe Smith, and Bear Bryant. First pitch here. Stephen Vogt still looking for that first hit. Takes a strike. George Dimko. Ball, 1 strike. Trina Friedman out there in center field. Rod and Michelle. High fly ball into right. Davis under it. And that's the first out here. Henry out there. He's in right field tonight.
It's quite amazing what it takes to get a game out on the air.
Well, they've got to babysit us. Zip was with us most of the year, but not here tonight. And there's Jimmy Lee Starling. He's responsible for what we see. I mean, if he doesn't make his mind up to show it, no matter what our directors and producers say, it doesn't get on. Where's JC? No, that's not JC. That's what he operates. Yeah. He's hidden away in a little room. Pitch is high, 2-1. Pre-game producer Brad Bartle.
No emails tonight.
Pitch is popped up down the right side, out of play, and the count's going to go to 2-2. And there's our distinguished director, Gary Nicholas, Wolfgang Nicholas.
Always on the prowl.
Yep, yes he is.
Always on the prowl.
Yep, and that other guy in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was KP, Kevin Patterson.
Kevin Patterson.
Always yelling at me.
Yep.
So late night emails from Brad. Wolf on the prowl. Kevin yells at me.
There's ball 3.
There it is.
Yep.
No, it really is.
There's Chris, who's our intern, and at times it downs a camera.
All over the place.
Tom out there as well, keeping track of the wider. He's like our safety. There's a foul ball.
Free safety.
Mm-hmm. There's Tim Burke. And this is pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
These guys and gals work hard and make sure that if we have no idea what's going on, they do. A little popper in the shallow right center. Flaherty backs out from second, and Jimenez is the second out of the inning. And of course, you want to hear what's going on, and Mark's involved in that. He's responsible. And hey, oh wait, right here, Chris.
Hey-o.
There he is.
I know. Well, the partition too. Remember, we used to be a lot more involved with him.
Yeah, our relationship has been a little strained. We just don't see him a lot.
It has suffered.
Yep.
No, it's pretty amazing. My parents, last time we were in Toronto, came up to Toronto and brought my kids up there. And
they went to the truck?
We went down to the truck.
Yeah.
And they were absolutely blown away at how the product is put together by all of those people and ends up coming out over TV because it looks so easy.
Yep.
You just watch a game, right?
Oh, look at Kurt there.
Look at him. Yes, and he's not even eating.
We caught him in one of those rare moments. And behind him, there's a shot by BJ. Foul. Still 2 strikes. Rick Odioso back there as well. Rick, one of the best in the business. And we certainly appreciate the work he does, our statistician. Rob Sheets helping
Dog
in audio and with an emphasis on the pregame. Cut to miss. BJ chased the fastball up. So we salute all of those men and women for the great work they do and give them a big thank you. something here.
Well, secure your seats today for 2013 with Rays season tickets and enjoy exclusive benefits, including the best seats and the biggest savings with a variety of plans available and special payment options. You can be a part of the team today. Rays season tickets. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com right now.
On to the 6th inning. Hey, there's Stan Rhodes. Stan has at high first. He's in the upper deck down the first base side. And when we get all of those really controversial things that happen in the rings, he's the guy. He's the Lord of the Rings. High first.
And speaking of controversial, how about the three of us solve the world's problems today?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Before the game.
Well, we do that nightly. So
wow.
Manny Machado trying to put down a bunt. They fouled it. Strike one. Well, it's a tough job. Somebody's got to do it.
It's true.
So the committee meets here before each game and works things out. Keeps it going. It's gotten us this far. The question is, where are we? Here's Jake McGee.
Game 162.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Dan Johnson has hit another home run for the White Sox. So Longoria hits 2 in game 162. Dan Johnson for the White Sox hits 2, of course. Nick Arrieta down there in the bullpen for Baltimore. The 2-strike count to Machado. Alex has been very economical. 70 pitches so far. There's a ball inside, 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. And the count is full. Six strikeouts on the night for Hellickson. And the 3-2 inside. He gives up his first walk. Runner goes to first. Nobody out. We'll check in again with Todd.
Time for the fans to vote. Dwayne and our Ottaway text poll question of the evening. What do you think was the best moment of the 2012 campaign? Opening day, Carlos Pena with the grand slam, then the walk-off. TB1, BJ Upton with a 3-home run game. That's TB2. TB3, Fernando Rodney in his miraculous season picking up a team record 46 save. That's TB3. Text all your votes to 789-789. Standard message and data rates apply. TB4 is game 150. Down 3 going into the 9th. The Rays win it with a 6-run rally. And TB5, David Price in Chicago. First Ray ever with 20 wins. Those are your 5 choices for best moment of 2012. Guys, back to you.
The Orioles, who had a threat back in the 4th, put the leadoff man on for the first time in an inning tonight on the walk to Machado. Nate McLeod. Infield setting up at double play depth. The pitch is in off the plate. A ball and no strikes, and Jim Hickey's going to head to the mound. The Rays pitching coach makes his first visit out there tonight. Rays got a run in the first on the Longoria homer, and then solo home runs in the 4th again from Evan and 1 from Ryan Roberts. They hold a 3-0 lead. New York continues to lead 5-1 over Boston in New York. Last count, that game was in the bottom of the 5th.
I think that was probably part of the message from Jim Hickey out there to Jeremy Hellickson. Make him earn it.
And he throws a strike. 1-1.
It's the one thing you cannot defend the walk.
play. It's 1-2. Fastball missed there. Down and in, and the count is 2-2. Nobody out. Hellickson has walked the leadoff man. It's 2-2 on Nate McLeod. And now he's pulled up on McLeod. Tried to throw the curveball and it stayed wide.
And there have been a couple of those from Jeremy tonight. Just not getting all the way through that pitch, and it stays off the plate away from the lefty. See right there. Gonna go with the changeup here in a full count.
3-2. McLeod pops it up. It's Pena in foul territory. 1 away.
Celebrate that special occasion by purchasing a game-used lineup card, base, baseball, or autographed items from your favorite Rays players. These one-of-a-kind items can be purchased at RaysBaseball.com/gameday or at the Rays Authentics game-used merchandise stand at Tropicana Field.
Well, the Rays are going to make a pitching change. Joe Madden out, and that's going to be it for Jeremy Hellickson. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Metro PCS, wireless for all. Hellickson tonight finishes the evening with 6 strikeouts.
And Jeremy Hellickson, very efficient, came out of the early part of this ball game, was very sharp. Of course, had the good changeup working. Saw some very good curveballs and has continued to pile up outs. After that leadoff walk here in the 6th, was able to come back and get McLeod to pop out on a full count changeup. You see his final line, just 1 hit given up and that 1 walk.
So Jake McGee takes over with 1 out and a runner on first. And his first pitch to J.J. Hardy is this ball for a strike. In with the hard stuff.
You know, you continually see these hitters off Jake McGee just get overpowered by that four-seam fastball. It's not only that he has that big-time velocity, but there's got to be a certain amount of deception with it also, because guys know it's coming and they just can't do much about it.
Fly ball, center field. Up too deep, and Upton is there to make the catch. 2 gone. Chris Davis. Davis 0 for 2. Cut the miss. That fastball hit at 96. He was trying to get ready for it and still couldn't catch up.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's the scouting report. I mean, look at the breakout. How many sliders really does Jake McGee throw? Not enough to make you wonder about it. You're going up there looking for the heater. You know it's coming.
Again, hard stuff. Couldn't catch up. 0-2.
Nothing fancy about what Jake does. It's four-seam, pure power.
Ball, 2 strikes. And a cut to miss. One fastball right after another. Rays lead this game 3-0. As we promised earlier, here's a sneak peek at Liam Neeson's new action film, Taken 2, in theaters this Friday. Zobrist, Longoria, and Joyce coming up here in the bottom of the 6th. 2 home runs tonight for Evan, and a flashback to last year. Of course, that walk-off home run connecting off Scott Proctor in the 12th inning clinched the American League wild card for the Rays, his second home run of the game. And tonight, he homered in the first, led off the 4th inning for the Rays with his second home run. And so while he was hitting 2 home runs here, Dan Johnson was hitting 2 home runs for the White Sox as they had built a 7-0 lead in Cleveland in game 162. So Zobrist, Longoria, and Joyce as Evan comes up here second in the inning with a chance to make it a 3 home run evening. Ben 0 for 2. He was robbed back in the 3rd on a great catch by Jones in center field. 1 ball, no strikes. Jake Arrieta in the game now, the right-hander. Tillman worked 5. 2-0 the count. 4 hits, 3 runs allowed by Tillman. He didn't walk anybody. Struck out 5 and surrendered 3 home runs. Now a strike to Zobrist. Troy Patton, the left-hander, busy in the bullpen for Baltimore. A Tapper foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wade Davis busy in the Rays bullpen off the right side. Still a piece of that one. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. And strike 3 called on the inside corner. So that's the first out here in the 6th.
Regular season may be coming to an end, but you can still follow the Rays during the playoffs and the offseason. Catch the Rays on Facebook and Twitter, as well as Pinterest and Instagram. Get your Rays baseball fix year-round and a sneak peek at behind-the-scenes photos, videos, and believe it, so much more.
Well, here's Longoria. He's hit 2 home runs tonight. The pitch is high. Evan hit 3 home runs against the Minnesota Twins in September of 2008. Became the second Ray ever to do that. Johnny Gomes the first. BJ Upton had that 3 home run game earlier this year. The count is 1-1. So Evan up here now trying to duplicate that feat. Starts to go, checks in time, and he's ahead in the count. 2 balls and a strike. And it's wide. 3 balls and a strike. Strike 2 to run it full. Well, they hit the first pitch he saw in the first inning, went 3-2 in the 4th and hit 1 out. And now 3-2 here in the 6th inning. And he hits a fly ball straight away center. Jones will go to the track, to the wall. He did it! 3rd home run of the game. This one to straightaway center field. Evan Longoria hits his 3rd home run of the night, and the Rays lead 4-0. Second time in his career that he's done that one. He did it in his rookie year, and he has 3 here tonight. How about that for Evan Longoria?
Boy, what a finish. What a finish for Evan.
3-2. He just drove it out to center. He got some of that Longoria carry to center field. Jones ran out of room. Evan Longoria with a 3-home run night. Now Matt Joyce pitches down, a ball and no strikes. Well, how about that? When Evan hit those 3 home runs as a rookie against Minnesota, he was the first rookie third baseman to hit 3 home runs in a game since Eddie Matthews in 1952. He had 3 against the Twins, and here against the Orioles he has another 3 home run game in his career. 2 balls and a strike to count to Joyce. And 1. Fly ball toward the left field line. McLeod stays fair and makes the catch. Wasn't the easiest catch he's ever made.
No, and you remember that home run. He lost track of the home run. Almost lost track of that one.
Now let's take another look at Longoria's 3rd home run of the night.
Full count slider. Stays right out over the plate. Evan just puts a nice smooth swing on it. Gets that out of the reach of Adam Jones.
Ryan Roberts pitches a strike. 17 home runs on the year now for Longoria. One and 1. In front of the track makes the catch. Roberts is out to retire the side. Rays get another run. 3 home runs tonight for Evan Longoria. Hit the first pitch he saw in the first inning, connecting off Tillman. 3-2 against Tillman in the 4th to lead off the inning, and he belted it out. 3-2 off Arrieta. 1 out in the 6th to dead center. 4-0 Rays.
home runs on the night, and the Rays lead the Orioles 4-0 in the top of the 7th inning. We want to thank everybody for following us on Twitter this year at Sun Sports Rays. If you haven't jumped on that train, now would be a good time because we'll still have tweets in the offseason. BJ Upton tweeting a little bit of a sentimental message today, saying he's headed to the Trop for the last time this season thanks to all the support from the fans. He says he's touched by all the love, and Buena BA could be the last time we see BJ for a long time.
Well, you're right about that. Only time will tell. BJ made his debut with the Rays as a 19-year-old. And BJ figured to have an at-bat, at least one more at-bat left in this game. Adam Jones fouls it back. So the count 1-1 to Jones, Wieters, and then Tomey. BJ ranks second among Rays all time in games played, runs, hits, steals, and extra base hits. And with Longoria belting 3 home runs tonight, BJ hit 3 on the 9th of September this year against Texas. One of 4 3-home run games in Rays history. 2 belong to Longoria, as we documented. He hit 3 against the Twins in his rookie year. Johnny Gomes had a 3-home run game for the Rays. Upton 1 and Longoria 2. And now Jones chases a pitch up. He's out on strikes. Second strikeout for Jake McGee. Matt Wieters is due. Wade Davis in the bullpen, and Joe Madden comes out of the dugout. So the Rays will make another pitching change here, and with that, call to the bullpen brought to you by Metro PCS.
With the Rays leading, things are winding down in the 2012 season, and everything's been shaking out tonight in terms of the seedings for the playoffs. The Yankees in control of their game against Boston, so as long as everything stays the same, Yankees will be the #1 seed. Baltimore, if they lose tonight, would travel to Texas. They came to tonight's game thinking they could go 1 of 3 places. Texas, Oakland, or back home to Baltimore. With a win, they go back home. If they lose to the Rays, they will travel to Texas for the wild card game Friday. The A's would be the 2 seed, and the Tigers would be the 3 seed. There you see the National League picture. It is all set. Washington 1, Cincinnati 2, San Fran 3. The wild cards, the Braves and the Cardinals. Gentlemen.
All right, thank you, Todd. Wade Davis in here, following McGee. His first pitch to Matt Wieters. Too high, 1 ball and no strikes. Wade's been very good out of the bullpen. 1-1 to count. Todd Callis seems to have set the course, as he so often does.
How about the job that he's done this year?
Yeah, he's been great.
Versatility, not only on the field for the Rays, but off the field for the Rays broadcasts. That's what Todd brings.
Yep. So sometimes coordinates our attire.
Sometimes he coordinates his own, a couple different outfits in the same given day.
Yep. Well, multi-talented, very capable individual. He's been great in that role, and again, sorted out the postseason pairings to this point.
How many years has Todd been doing this? Is it 13, 16?
15? Is that what he's
15. 15-time All-Star.
Yeah. 2-2 the count to Wieters, and he lifts the fly ball to left. Hold near the line, and Sam makes the catch. Well, Todd has just been consistently great through all this time.
We're going to talk about it this weekend. We're going to watch some football together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. That'll be good.
Yep. Until about 7 o'clock. About 7 o'clock. And then I go into
AM.
Well, yeah, the West Coast games.
There you go.
West Coast games.
Swing and a miss by Tomey. Strike one.
See, the thing with Todd, I never know what time he's going to show up. That's the thing. He'll just show up like over your shoulder.
Stealth. Two outs, base is empty.
Speaking of.
Yeah. This one is down. Ball to 2 strikes the count.
You know what? That right there.
Yeah.
That's how he, we always kid Todd about always being able to find the action and in a group and where the fun's at. I think we just saw how.
Yeah.
The eagle eye.
You can see that in his expression.
Yeah, he's thrilled right now.
Yeah. Integral part of what has gone on here all these years. Ground ball scooped there by Zobrist on the first base side of second. Rays shortstop makes the play. 7th inning stretch time, and the Rays lead 4-0.
Well, 4 solo home runs by the Rays, 3 of them coming courtesy of Evan Longoria, have given them a 4-0 lead over the Orioles as we head into the bottom of the 7th inning. We'll visit MLB.com/fan guide to register for a chance to win a VIP experience for 2 to a 2012 MLB World Series game presented by Scott's, the official lawn care company of Major League Baseball.
Rays have built a 4-0 lead. They'll be looking at their third pitcher of the night. Left-hander Zach Britton takes over now for Baltimore.
See the overall numbers there for Zach. 52 strikeouts, 59 and a third. A little work in here tonight. This Baltimore team ready for the postseason.
The Yankees holding their comfortable lead at home over Boston. 7-1. And Carlos Pena will face the left-hander. Then Sam Fuld and Stephen Vogt. Pena 0 for 2. He struck out and lined out. And the pitch is a strike. Subway sub prize on the line. The standings in the American League East. The Yankees up by a game on Baltimore. The Orioles had hopes of catching the Yankees, but the Yankees had that lead that we just mentioned. Rays lead in this game, and Pena is down in the count 0-2.
Well, they had to feel really good about their chances last night. Boston took a 2-run lead into the 9th inning, and then Raul Ibanez tied it up with a 2-run homer and won it later in the 12th. Tonight's flip-flop. 4 solo home runs by the Rays. And Orioles down 4. The Yankees up big.
Pena takes the ball. Just missed. Cut to miss. So Pena's out on strikes. 1 away.
Well, let's take a look at the scouting report tonight, brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida. And it is a look ahead. Keys to the offseason for this Rays ball club. Healthy Longoria, obviously. This guy missed close to 90 ball games this year. The record with him, much different when he's in the lineup. Makes the whole team better. His presence on the field, in the lineup, the psyche of the team. Repeat pitching performance, and that may be the toughest thing to do, because what they were able to accomplish this season was borderline historic. And then get offensive. That is one of the main storylines this season, has been really the lack of offense, and it just really never went away. That is something that I'm sure that Andrew Friedman and staff will be focusing on this winter.
Counts 1-1 to Sam Fuld. And we heard Andrew discussing that with Todd earlier, and how much he values and appreciates accumulating all the pitching that the Rays have had. And so the Rays always reluctant to give up any of that pitching, because that is what really keeps them night in and night out, keeps them competitive. There's a soft little looping liner handled by Hardy at short. Fuld is out of there. 2 gone.
Well, I think that that's what plays into the decision making. That's why it's going to be so very interesting, because you do want to add offense. You know you're not going to be able to go out and sign an established, veteran to a huge contract. That's not going to be able to happen. So do you continue to try to take chances on guys, or do you ultimately end up giving up some of that pitching to bring in an established bat that you have under some sort of control?
Stephen Vogt up here looking for that first big league hit. He faces a left-hander, Britt. Vogt 0 for 2. He hit the ball hard in the 3rd when he lined out to right, hit a fly ball to right in the 5th. So he's 0 for 24 right now, and breaks the bat. Well, the bat split, and the ball fouled up the third base side.
That bat didn't have any hits in it. Now he's got one that does.
Got a good one.
Right off the cupped end, out in front. I'll shear that piece right off.
Vogt looking for that first big league hit. The biggest single season offer was Eugenio Velez with the Dodgers last year. He went 0 for 37. for the year with the Dodgers. 2 strikes the count to Vogt. And it's away, 1-2. And now the count square. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. We're in the 7th. Chopper right side, got a chance. Flaherty, quick throw to first. They just got him. Vogt trying to get that first hit. He was digging hard up the first base line, and Flaherty, with a quick toss to first, just did get him. Oh my. So Vogt, perhaps his last shot this year at getting that first big league hit, really hustled down the line and thought he was safe. We're through 7. Rays lead 4-0. Really hustling, trying to get that first big league hit. And it was very close at first on this chopper.
Well, selling out. A quick flip. He's calling for it. Doesn't get it.
Well, the dugout rooting for him, as you might expect. So he apparently is going to have to wait until next year. He put together some great offensive numbers in the minor leagues, a 300 hitter lifetime in the minors, and still looking for that first big league hit. Big swing and a miss by Mark Reynolds. Strike 1. Reynolds 0 for 2. Gullickson 5 1/3. McGee for an inning, and now Davis. Wade got 2 outs in the 7th. Peralta busy in the bullpen for the Rays. Cut and a miss. Some high heat there. 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Foul, top of the screen. Flaherty will be next, and then Machado. Ground Ground ball headed to second. Roberts up with it. So Reynolds is the first out of the 8th. Ryan Flaherty will bat.
Coming up on Rays Live, the postgame presented by Checkers. Show you highlights of Major League Baseball and all the playoff races and seedings. Joe Madden and his press conference. Laura will be gathering interviews from the clubhouse. Dwayne and I will have our parting thoughts.
First pitch to Flaherty is a strike.
And Callis, Todd, and Orestes will be leading the way.
Yep. Ground ball to second. Roberts will take care of that. Give us a chance to thank everyone for being so loyal and tuning in this year. We certainly appreciate the loyalty and the fun that we've had this year, and having you look in on Rays baseball. We appreciate the feedback and look forward to continued success of the Rays. They trying to win their 90th game of the year tonight. Disappointed that they're not going to the postseason, but it has been a great 5-year run here for the Rays, and they fully expect to be right in the middle of the fray again next year. And so we're all looking forward to that. 1-1 to count to Manny Machado. So partner, it's been fun spending time with you in the booth this year, as always.
Yes, it has.
It's been a good time. And we hope that all of you at home have had a good time as well, following the Rays, and occasionally some of the antics that our crew has pulled here.
Like walking the dog.
That's exactly right.
Things of that nature.
Seemed to be the humane thing to do at the time. 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's never boring.
And we're grateful for that. Grateful for your loyalty looking in all year. 2-2 now. And a foul back. Wade Davis. A couple of ground ball outs in the 8th.
You know, this is another guy you wonder about.
Sure.
Because he's thrown the ball so very well coming out of the bullpen. What in the world do you do with Wade? Because you know he'd like to start.
Well, if you have a wealth of pitching, you have some options. And those options will be, you can be sure, closely evaluated by the Rays baseball office.
The problem is you only have 5 slots in your starting rotation, and you've got more than enough qualified candidates.
I mean, Wade Davis, we've seen the role he's been in this year. He could close.
Yeah.
Rodney's been great in that role. He can start. We all know that. So there are a lot of things you can do with Wade Davis.
That guy right in front of Jim Hickey, Jeff Neiman.
Yep.
A name that we have. Yeah. Chris Archer, what he was able to chip in with this year. I mean, there's just one after the other.
Nate McLeod, runner at first, 2 gone. And a strike around the knees. How about Matt Moore? You know, he's got that year under his belt.
That's right. He'll make a big jump, I would imagine. He'll be able to go home this offseason and think about things that went well, didn't go so well. Like you said, the first full season under his belt, and come out like gangbusters next year, ready to go, knowing what to fully expect, knowing the toll that it's going to take on his body through the course of the season, and adjust accordingly.
2 strikes the count to McLeod. And how about this guy, Alex Cobb? 11 wins, really a partial season for him.
Finished so strong the other night.
And a cut and a miss. McLeod out on strikes, a walk and a man left. Bottom of the 8th coming. 4-0 Rays. Big night for Evan Longoria, a 3-home run night for the Rays third baseman. Ryan Roberts contributing a home run as well. The Rays lead 4-0. Bottom of the 8th finds Chris Jimenez leading off for the Rays. He'll be followed by BJ Upton and then Ben Zobrist. Luis Ayala, the new pitcher. And a swing and a miss, strike one. Rays with 5 hits, the Orioles just the one. That was the base hit back in the 4th by Adam Jones after Davis had reached on a strikeout and a wild pitch. Jimenez takes one inside. 2-1. Pedro Strop down in the bullpen, and the Orioles would like to get him going again. He was struggled to the finish line. Jimenez fouls it. 2-2. Fernando Rodney acknowledging the cheers from the crowd down along the bullpen area. Well, he's had an historic year as a closer. 2-2 the count. Rays shut out last night 1-0, and they lead 4-0 tonight. Jimenez out on strikes. And so that brings up BJ Upton, who very well could be making his final plate appearance in a Rays uniform. BJ came up in early August of 2004 and got a base hit to right field off Tim Wakefield. That came in the 7th inning of his first game. You know, he came up as a shortstop, then went to center field. Ironically, started that game as the designated hitter. And here he is with the bases empty and 1 out in the 8th inning tonight. And a line drive into left. That's going to fall for a base hit in front of McLeod. So Upton singles on the first pitch. Here he sees in the 8th inning. And he's aboard with 1 out. So BJ Upton, who collected his first big league hit back on the 2nd of August, has a base hit here in the 8th inning, and now he'll be lifted. Rich Thompson will run for him, and Upton will leave the field. And Rays fans back in the dugout, standing, knowing full well that very well could be the last time they see Upton in a Rays uniform. BJ had said earlier today that he thought it was just now hitting him. It looks as if it's just now hitting him now.
That genuine emotion.
Now Ben Zobrist chopper down to first. The throw to second, 1 back to first, safe there. Thompson forced at second. So Zobrist beats it out, and that will give Evan Longoria another shot. And with Longoria due, Buck Showalter pops out of the dugout with an eye toward the bullpen. And he's going to change pitchers here before Evan Longoria can step in to take a shot at a 4th home run tonight. He's hit 3. We'll be back with the new pitcher for Baltimore in a moment. Upton a hug after Upton was lifted for the pinch runner. Zobrist beat the play at first base. That keeps the inning alive and will give Evan Longoria a chance. 16 4-home-run games in Major League history. Evan Longoria has collected 3 home runs tonight for the second time in his career. The first time was his rookie season. And he faces Pedro Strop. The pitch, a chopper down to third. Machado's throw across the diamond to first in time to retire the side. And so Evan Longoria settles for 3. We go to the 9th, 4-0 Tampa Bay. We'll watch from the Rays dugout as Rich Thompson, who pinch ran for him, takes over in center field. And BJ, when he broke in, he was just 19 years old, 19 days short of his 20th birthday when he got that base hit off Tim Wakefield, and 15 days later hit his first big league home run in a Tampa Bay uniform when he connected off Kelvin Escobar of the Angels. And in this one, he singled in his final at bat here in the 8th inning tonight, finishing 1 for 4. So he'll watch as Joel Peralta comes on, the Rays' 4th pitcher. Jose Molina will catch with Thompson in center. And J.J. Hardy leads off for Baltimore. First pitch from Peralta is a strike. The Rays trying to nail down their 90th win, and Fernando Rodney busy out there in the bullpen. Hellickson worked 5 1/3. McGee an inning. Davis an inning and 2/3. Rays trying to spend their 16th shutout as a staff. They've held the Orioles to just 1 run. Or 1 hit, no runs in this 4-0 game. A foul ball back. The only hit allowed by the Rays pitching was Adam Jones' base hit in the 4th. There was a walk to Machado in the 6th inning. The other runner reached out a strikeout of a wild pitch. Line drive into right center field. That will be in there. Extra bases coming for Hardy. He's on his way to second with a double. to lead off the ninth inning. So the second hit of the night is a two-base hit for Hardy, his 30th double of the year.
That was just a fastball up and out over the plate by Peralta. See where this pitch ends up. And that's almost letter high, and Hardy able to get on top of that ball and hit it hard out into right center field for the leadoff double.
Second time they put the leadoff man on tonight. When Machado walked in the sixth, he led off that frame. Bullpen ball loose and all the way to the home plate area. Dan Johnson has hit 3 home runs. How about that? Evan Longoria on game 162 this year hits 3. Dan Johnson for the White Sox in game 162 hits 3 home runs.
I don't have much hair, but the little bit that I have is standing on end.
Chris Davis in the batter's box. Pitch is down. 1 ball, no strikes. Rays closing out the season here against Baltimore. They'll open at home on April the 2nd of next year against this same Baltimore Orioles club. Ball, no strikes. Swing and a miss. 1-1. The Rays not going to the postseason this year certainly gives them, and I think everyone who's following this club, something to look forward to next year. Miller takes off down to third, a cut and a miss. With the shift on, nobody covering third. Hardy just slipped in there. It's 1-2 the count to Davis.
Well, this team postseason 2010, 2011 games has that been that have not had this kind of a feel.
Yep.
Strange.
A ball, 2 strikes. Two and 2. 5 consecutive winning seasons for the Rays. Yankees have their streak. The Cardinals have a streak of 5. The Phillies do. The Phillies had a chance. Phillies lost to Washington. They finished 81-81. Tap foul. So the Rays with a winning season. They've done it 5 years in a row. Along with the Yankees, they have 20. The Cardinals 5 and the Rays 5. How about that for a select group?
Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
To reach 90 wins for the 3rd consecutive year. Two now, and the count is full. 3-2 to Davis. Adam Jones on deck. Hardy opened with a double, moved to third on indifference. Strikes out on strikes, and the Rays staff again with a 10 strikeout performance. How about that? The Rays 40th 10 strikeout game here at the Trop by the pitching staff.
A lot of pizza.
Oh my.
That's half the games.
Yep.
Half the game. Well, you know what? They've set the American League record for strikeouts as a staff. They've just been so dominant. You know, you made that point that the defensive woes that certainly have cost this team have been somewhat mitigated by the fact that they've been able to get out of some of those jams by just blowing people away.
Yep. 6 for Hellickson tonight, 2 for McGee, and 1 each for Davis and Peralta. There's Adam Jones. Foul ball. A little bit of Molina. 1 strike. Just under 18,000 here tonight for the final game of the regular season. The count. It's inside. 1-1. He's got a run in the first. Home run by Longoria. 2 runs in the fourth. Homer Longoria, Homer Roberts. And a run in the sixth. Homer Longoria. And a fly ball, not overly deep to center. Thompson's there to make the catch. Tag at third. Hardy heads to the plate, and he will score to make it 4-1. So a sacrifice fly makes it a 4-1 ball game. So the leadoff double turns into a run. And now Matt Wieters is due. The fans are on their feet chanting for Fernando Rodney. Rodney throwing in the bullpen. Molina walks out to the mound. Fans want to see Fernando one more time. Will they?
Can't blame him.
He has had just an unbelievable season out of the bullpen. Fernando continues to loosen out there in the bullpen, and Madden's going to leave Peralta in there to pitch to Wieters. 1 ball, no strikes. One ball, no strikes. And a base hit into center field. So Wieters singles to keep it going. And now the fans continue to chant for Fernando Rodney, and here comes Madden. So Peralta surrenders a base hit. And Madden comes out to make the pitching change. Fernando Rodney will indeed get into this game.
And how about the smirk on Joe's face coming out of the dugout? That was...
Well, Rodney makes another walk to the mound in from the bullpen. If you round it up, second only to Johnson in saves with 47. And he'll be trying to finish this one. He has Jim Thome to deal with. And the pitch to Thome, a little bit outside. 1 ball, no strikes. He got Thome in the 9th inning Monday. Picked up a couple strikeouts. And Thome was the first of the 2, and he just gave him changeup after changeup. Gives him one there for a strike. The count 1-1.
Well, that's 2. First one was a little bit off the plate. So as of this moment right here, Jim Thome has seen nothing but changeups from Rodney.
And the pitch skied toward the line and left. Sam Fuld is there. Rays win their 90th, and Fernando Rodney closes it out. Fly ball to left off the bat of Jim Thome. It's a 4-1 final tonight. So with 2 outs, Wieters single. That put a man on. Brought Thome to the plate with a potential tying run on deck. And so Rodney picks up the save, lowers his earned run average to 0.60, the best ever. And he closes it out as the Rays win their 90th game of the year. Hellickson will pick up the victory. He is 10-11. That's save number 48 for Fernando Rodney. He puts a cap on a remarkable season out of the bullpen. Tillman, the losing pitcher, his record now 9-3. BJ Upton has played what appears to be his final game in a Rays uniform. As we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time. Brought to you by Miller Lite. And this moment for Fernando Rodney earns him the best ERA in the history of the game for a closer, besting Dennis Eckersley's great season. Took 2 hours and 43 minutes to play this game. And the Rays finished the season 90-72 with a 4-1 victory here over the Baltimore Orioles. So that settles things for the regular season. The Rays ending what they had hoped would be a longer season. What a night for Evan Longoria, a 3-home run night. And for Joe Madden, bittersweet for Madden and for the Rays collectively, because with this pitching staff, there was a genuine feeling that this team could carry things deep into the postseason, and they're going to miss the postseason this year.
I don't think there's any question about it, not only because of the pitching staff, but the way they closed the season out, playing very inspired, very good baseball. The defense had come around, the offense was clicking, pitching staff was doing its thing, and yeah, this is one of those sad moments. You hate to see the season come to an end, but it won't take very long before you start getting excited to see what moves will be made and how the team will be retooled to get ready for next season.
And because the club is finished prematurely, there's going to be a greater feeling to get next season started. There's going to be a lot of people looking forward to next year because of how early their year finished here tonight with 90 wins and 72 losses out of the postseason. Right now, a great night for Evan Longoria. Let's go to the field and Todd Callis with Evan.
Thank you, Dwayne. Something about game 162 and you?
You know, it's a little bit bittersweet today. You know, obviously last year was great because we're playing the next day. You know, special day for me, but you know, I don't want to take any of the credit away from everybody else. I mean, 90 wins. You know, we're playing our best baseball right now, and you know, it's just sad to see everybody have to go home.
Was this the perfect game to end it on, though, with starting pitching, with, you know, the emotions with BJ and with Fernando Rodney closing it?
It was. I mean, I hate to see Joel give up a hit there, but you know, it's almost kind of the way that the season started and the way it should have ended, you know, with Fernando closing it out. So like I said, I mean, we can go home and, look ourselves in the mirror and know that we did everything we could.
Earlier this year, Upton had a shot at 4. You had a shot at it, and Ben Zobrist hustling out to give you that at bat. What were your thoughts going to the plate there?
3 is a great day in itself, and Strop has had a great year. I had 2 or 3 at bats against him, and so I'm just thinking, try to get a pitch out over the plate. He throws hard, and the ball just moved in off my bat. So again, I can't be disappointed.
This might one of the craziest things about 162. You had 4 in a row and 5 out of 6 tonight. Dan Johnson, who hadn't hit a major league home run since 162 last year, also hit 3.
Did he really? I knew he had 2.
He got his 3rd.
I knew he had 2. Shell told me, I think, in the 6th or 7th when I hit my 3rd. And he said, you got to put yourself ahead of Dan. He's got 2 today. So good for him. I'm happy for him.
Evan, final thought here. You guys won't be in postseason. Everybody from the national media is saying this might have been the toughest team in postseason. Frustrating knowing how well you played down the stretch and not being able to carry it.
It definitely is. Look, Matt has no awareness. Hey, we're doing an interview.
Matt Joyce, let's re-ask that. Frustration about not being able to continue.
Yeah, again, I don't think we have anything to be disappointed about. Like I said, 90 wins is a great year. On any other year, it might get you into the postseason. But it is a little frustrating, like I said, playing our best baseball down the stretch. And we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, how, you just don't want it to be too little too late. So if anything could be said about, what we're disappointed about, it's maybe the time that we got hot. But outside of that, it was a great year.
It was fun to watch you play at whatever level you could play at. We look forward to you being even healthier next year.
Thank you. I'll work on it all offseason.
Thanks, Longo. Guys, back to you.
All right. Well, mixed feelings about this one. BJ Upton full of emotion in his final game. 4-1, Rays are winners. We'll be right back.